brought to you by IWCRadio.com. It's the internet's most irreverent wrestling podcast. Now, please welcome Beans, Smoot, Chucks, and Will. This is the IWC.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the IWC WrestleMania review show. After a few days of technical difficulties and issues and whatnot, I think we have enough juice to get this show going, hopefully here. Fingers crossed. Yeah, with me as always, Beans, Chucks, and Will. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Big week.
Big week.
Big
Very
week,
big
yeah.
week.
I thought you were saying I was a bit weak. I'm like, no.
No. Big week. Big week. Very
yeah.
a lot of stuff going on.
Indeed.
Oh, alright.
Oh,
Okay.
hey, whoa, hey, now.
Yeah,
there
there
you
we
go.
go. At the same
Okay,
time. At the same time.
I feel left out.
Oh, man.
Just what you guys do on a Friday night.
Pretty much.
I, for a change, I'm actually drinking alcohol as well.
Oh, bloody hell.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
a big week.
I'm currently
I mean,
I'm currently snowed in. This was a shot. I took some video of this earlier. This is what it looks like outside here currently. It's in the middle of April, might I add.
Middle of April.
It's just
Snow.
completely white. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a shitload of snow.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be all day. They were predicting like near 2 feet worth, last week, but like computer models kind of brought that number down into the realm of like reality, I guess, if you will. And yeah, it's it's spring and it's still snowing its balls off.
You
I
do live in the Arctic, though, don't you?
Do you consider South Dakota in the Arctic? Like, really?
I don't know.
Looks like it.
Doesn't look like it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I went to take a sip. I thought there was going to be more banter than that, but no, fair enough.
That's all you get.
To be honest, Spirit, I did the same thing. Well, this is a good chance to have a sip. Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be that means you're doing the show under the influence of alcohol.
Yeah, and a bit worryingly, I had one before it as well. So yeah.
Oh, God, you're like our Jeff Hardy.
You're John Cena at Mania.
You're
Just wait until after the show, and I go and get in my car.
We gotta get constant shots of you. Sitting at
Yeah.
watching the
What
show.
was that? But that totally ruined that women's match.
I was really fed up of looking at his facial reactions.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised if he was kind of pissed that they kept cutting to him. I'm still just sat here.
Yeah, I've still only had a sip of this beer that I've spat back in.
I'd be really pissed off if I was sat behind him. The camera kept getting in my way every 5 minutes.
Did anyone also as well? Did you notice that the lady sat next to him was pregnant?
Yeah.
Did anyone
Very
else think that John Cena was going to deliver a baby at WrestleMania?
A lot of people were joking about how she was going to give birth right there, and it was going to be the Undertaker.
What?
Yeah.
One of the more creative returns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a thing.
By the way, there's a shot on stream of Cena watching WrestleMania. Which is
And the
pretty
Cena that's watching Cena's got more hair.
good. Yeah.
He looks very young there, doesn't he? And he's got Sergeant Slaughter's chin.
What's
He
with,
does,
what's,
yeah.
what's with the chin? Jesus. So Popeye.
Yeah, you know it's a good few years old. He's not wore orange for a good 6 months.
Yeah.
That was his Crash Bandicoot look.
Yeah, that was the last autumn collection.
That was his dickhead look.
That doesn't narrow it down.
No,
No,
it
it
didn't.
Oh,
Anyway,
So WrestleMania happened.
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
Good
happened.
review. Good review.
probably one of the weirdest WrestleManias I think I've seen for sure.
Weird define weird.
I mean, as we just mentioned with the Cena bit, wait until like the last moment on the card for Undertaker to show up and accept the match.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was weird.
Contrasting, I think I would use.
I'd say polarizing. It's
Right.
the most polarizing WrestleMania.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my god! You've got your WWE
we
clubhouse, haven't you?
We are an alternative IWC universe, and we may cheer who we want and not necessarily follow the conventional fan views.
Did the Mandela effect happen?
I don't know the Mandela effect did. The Bizarro world, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is why
at the end of that 7-hour show, I was yelling, "Free at last! Free at last!"
Oh my
god. I forgot what I was going to say.
WrestleMania was free at last. If you're a new subscriber,
I think this is the reason why WWE won't do a WrestleMania in Canada again.
I mean, you also had Braun Strowman winning the tag titles with a 10-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Which was arguably, and I said this on Twitter, either arguably the greatest WrestleMania moment or probably the worst. Depending on your sight of the product.
It all depends, though, if they follow up on it in 10 years' time and bring him back.
They might well do that. Because he was the referee's son, right? So he's going to be around.
I suppose so, yeah.
Was he related to somebody?
I think it might have been John Cone.
John Cone's son, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's the story, anyway.
Okay, that's pretty badass. That's pretty badass that John Cone's son's a tag team champion.
And he was the ref for the match as well.
He was, yeah. I thought it was like a Make-A-Wish kid. And like his wish was to become like a tag team champion. And they were like, alright.
That would have made sense.
Like,
that would have been really cool. That's like one of the coolest wishes they'd have granted.
Yeah, because like,
I imagine so many of them would have wishes like that. Like, and they must say, we can't really make you WWE champion, but do you want to meet John Cena?
Because like Monday they had a Make-A-Wish World Wish Day that Coach somehow screwed up in saying and promoting, and it lined up. People were pointing out they had like a bracelet on that looked like a hospital bracelet of some kind. So if it was a Make-A-Wish,
that was just a VIP thing.
Yeah, probably. If it was like a Make-A-Wish, that would have been the coolest wish ever. I feel. You stand on the apron and let me do this, kid. So, what else happened at WrestleMania? Should we get
7 hours?
Well, we'll go through it.
Should we get into the prediction game? Should we just get into the prediction game here?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do this all kind of chronologically and start with NXT, or if we go with the big show first and then.
Well,
yeah.
Let's do NXT because I did actually watch that.
I think T-Dub's in the chat with some feedback for WrestleMania.
Did he? Is he? A cheat happened. I think he's
cheat happened.
I think he's.
He might not be happy.
Yeah, I think the Undertaker. I was screwed over. Undertaker is a cheater. Yeah, T-Dub's a huge John Cena fan. I know this from personal experience, and he also likes the Undertaker, but apparently he thinks the Undertaker is a cheater.
Even though he did not break any rules, T-Dub. I'm sorry.
That's true. Yeah, no rules were broken.
Actually, one rule was broken because Cena was under the influence less than 12 hours before the show.
Yeah, so Cena was a cheater because he was trying to relax more going into a big match by having alcohol.
Maybe his pain tolerance was raised. You know, sometimes you drink a little bit, you go a little numb. Yeah.
Endorphins,
that kind of thing. Dolph Ziggler.
Dolphin.
Oh my god.
So what are we doing?
Yeah. We could go to NXT first if you want.
All right, let's do that. We'll just do it quick. Ladder match, 6 men in a ladder match. This was pretty great. Adam Cole ended up winning. I think we all. I didn't write down our predictions, but I know at least a couple of us said Adam Cole was probably going to do the double. He defeated EC3, Dane Sullivan, Ricochet, and Velveteen Dream.
I was just going to say, how insane was Velveteen Dream for not only doing an elbow from the top of a ladder, but actually jumping from the very top of a ladder?
Yeah.
I always think that's like RVD doing it, but he always just like fell off it.
Yeah, it's true, he did. Even Jeff Hardy too, on those on the tall ones, he would kind of like drop down and wouldn't get any extra height. I thought early on that the big guys were going to be a bit of a waste in there, just kind of hanging around, maybe to be dived on. But no, they were involved.
Yeah, they pretty much they utilized a lot of the big guys, I felt, during that match. I don't know about what you guys, you, Will, and Beans think, but
the most painful thing for me in this is that I watched the Hall of Fame the night before, and surprisingly, I was fine. We did the show just before NXT, and then as soon as I started watching NXT, it just hit me like a brick wall. And the one show that you don't want to be completely shattered for was NXT, and I really need to go back and watch this, because I think after I think the last 2 matches I really struggled with and saw bits of. And you know when you're really annoyed that you know how awesome what it is that you're seeing, but you can't stay away. So, yeah, I do need to revisit this.
No, I somehow managed to stay awake and watched it all. It was really good. Some of the spots in that ladder match were just insane.
I didn't know what was happening for the most part, or like who people were, but I enjoyed it.
Just based on the action.
Yeah.
I thought they didn't use much of Ricochet. He did a few cool things, but not, he wasn't the focus of this one. I think there's a lot left for him to do.
Yeah. It was a good introduction, if you like.
I was just going to say, because I've not seen much of his work, but I'm obviously aware of how popular and well respected he is. So it was a nice introduction to see what he's capable of. But like you say, being in a match like that, it was hard to shine one individual when you've got, what was it, 6 men? Was it
6 men?
Yeah.
Same with EC3. Actually, he didn't do very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were all pretty great for what they did. Shayna Baszler. Oh.
Not going to show. I still think it's a similar thing with him. I think they're just sort of holding back on showing everything off because they need to sort of keep something back for the next show, don't they? So.
And great.
Yeah.
The match was great without going all out with those ones.
Definitely.
Now we can see what they got next time round. Shayna Baszler, new NXT Women's Champion, beat Ember Moon. And then I guess we'll get to in a bit. Ember Moon got the call up, so that kind of makes sense.
I like the Shayna Baszler doing the Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon and putting a shoulder back in on the ring post.
Yeah, that was
really good.
Apparently the live fans had no idea what was going on there. I think that's one that you needed commentary for.
Yeah.
Or at least a good camera angle.
I'm not being funny, but if you saw someone running into a post constantly, you're thinking, is she a cyborg and she's like malfunctioning, or does she need to pop her shoulder back in?
Maybe. Yeah, that was. I thought that was a fairly good one too. Then the Undisputed Era. This was. Oh, there's a big swerve at the end here. I'm guessing Smoot would have been completely lost. It's, bad enough for me. Roderick Strong turned on Pete Dunne right at the end, gave the win to the Undisputed Era. So now they are a 4-man team of all Ring of Honor guys. Authors of Pain, former champions, they've now lost the belts and have also got the call up. You see a theme.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a good match. It was like you said, the swerve at the end was like, you just It's one of them things that definitely got people, because I suppose when you think back, you're thinking, why did he just go through this entire match just to do that at the end? But yeah, no, it was good.
And Adam Cole being taken out early on with the announce table, having already gone through that ladder match. That's fair. He's allowed to take this one off, and ended up with one of the belts.
Yeah, I like that Adam Cole season. Like, can you cancel the match like right before the that one started? But
then
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, have you got anything else?
No. I was.
And another new champion, Aleister Black. I felt this was a bit early myself, but hey, there you go. Aleister Black beated. That's not a word. That's halfway between beat and defeated. Aleister Black beated Andrade Almas.
Debated.
Finally, debated. Finally. It's a verbal debate.
He's only held it for like one takeover, hasn't he?
Nah, he's had it a little while, hasn't he?
Beat Drew, didn't he?
Drew. Did he?
Sorry.
He had it since November, so that's since the War Games show. There's a couple, so there's the Rumble and then this one. A little while. It's the first match. I kind of felt like Almas should have held it for another one, then had the Gargano rematch. Black kind of comes out of nowhere and wins it.
I think they're keen on keeping Aleister Black as strong as possible, aren't
they? Yeah. WWE's version of CM Punk.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I think we're probably going to see Gargano on the main roster very soon.
Possibly. I mean, after that,
he's just been reinstated. He just got his job back, didn't he, with NXT? So I don't know if calling him up so soon. I think maybe he's got one more match, I think, takeover.
That's why I said possibly, but had he lost it, I think he probably would have been called up. Honestly.
Yeah, there was a nice little interview with Daniel Bryan before the show started, and he said he wanted Gargano to lose so we could bring him to SmackDown. Nice little touch.
What a dick. That's babyface. So then Gargano defeated Tommaso Ciampa in about 40 minutes, unsanctioned match. This, I think everyone agrees this was pretty great. I thought it was a little slow at times. I don't know if it needed to be 40 minutes. But yeah, no, it was very good.
I just remember in my complete daze of trying to stay up and watch this, that just seeing that image of Ciampa, like with his eye completely swelled up, just like effectively begging for his life. Just phenomenal.
Is there a better babyface and a better heel than these guys in the company? In either NXT, WWE, in the world.
Good
like
question.
that heat for Tomato Ciampa coming out. He had the no music gimmick. Yeah.
She did better than
the
Ziggler.
Kozlov.
He did better than Ziggler. Mostly because there's no record scratch.
Yeah. And just walking out, standing around, taking his time. So much heat. There was no polarizing babyface deal there.
It's just it's that genuine kind of character, isn't it? It's like the Daniel Bryan effect and such. You can't help but like Gargano in the same way that you like Bryan, just because you get the feeling that he's a good guy. But also in the same regard, Ciampa's, it's the same really. It's just that he's pretty much living that gimmick, isn't he? I mean, even on Twitter and everything, he's just playing up to that arsehole character, really.
I think it helps. I always say with NXT that the fan base wants it to work. Everyone from the TV commissioner, Regal, to we know it's run by Triple H, and they're both baby faces. They're giving us products that we want to see. They're giving us characters that aren't stupid. And even when they are kind of stupid, they're not stupid. Mm-hmm. Like Velveteen Dream's a bit wacky, but it's not like ridiculous. And so we're all on board. and we're not gonna just cheer for who we want and shit on whoever because we don't like them. We're gonna give it every chance to succeed. I think that really helps it.
It's that thing as well of like, with the main roster, there's the Cena and the Reigns scenario, isn't there? And it's like on NXT, you know that they can't really have that because whoever is the main one obviously then moves on. So
it's true. No one overstays their welcome.
Yeah,
definitely true.
Mm.
That definitely helps. Well, that was that then. We ran through that very quick. I don't know if anyone's got anything else.
Cat's joined by the way, in case you can hear him on my lap currently.
What did you think of NXT?
Yeah, what do you think of NXT, Jagger? No comment.
Fair enough.
5 stars? Anyone giving out the big 5?
I would have to say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
Sure.
It was one of them when you looked at the card itself and you thought this has the potential of being the best NXT takeover. And when you watch
every takeover could be the best one. That's what I can't believe they keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's been about 3 years or something, and every one of them has been great.
But it's like you say, it's that thing of they're every 2.5 months, 3 months.
Yeah, was it 4 or 5 a year?
And it's short. It's guaranteed good wrestling. That's the focus of it. It's not story heavy.
There's no filler.
Yeah,
just 5 matches.
It never outstays its welcome. You just get, what you were hoping to see, and then that's it. It's done, and it's like you're never going to be disappointed with that.
It seems like the stories are just like well crafted more than the TV product.
They're simple.
Yeah.
They're not rushed, are they? They're not.
Yeah, exactly.
They're definitely not rushed. There's not. You rarely get a series from one to the next of, like on WWE pay-per-views. It's every month maybe. So you see Miz and Rollins or, whoever over and over and over. You don't get the chance with this. That would take a year. And in that time, someone's going to get called up or they're going to, it's too long. Yeah. So yeah, nothing goes on too long. The talent's there because it's such a small. There's not so many guys featured on any show. It's only 5 matches, so maybe you've got 10, maybe 20, and they're all going to be the top end. So yeah, I think this is exactly how it should be done. None of these 5-hour WrestleManias for me. Just give me a good 2.5.
And it's kind of, I like the way you can. I mean, we've said ourselves we don't watch as much of the TV show that we would like to, but you can just jump into the pay-per-views and you're not really missing a lot. You can catch up quite easily.
It's true.
Well,
video packages are good enough.
Yeah, I'm going to say the stories are so simple in the fact that you know exactly what's going on with it.
Yeah. Which, I mean, kind of doesn't really do itself justice because it means you don't have to watch the weekly show, but I suppose.
Well, so Big Dave, my boy, gave the ladder match and the main event 5 stars. I think that's the first.
Really?
I think it's the first WWE show to have 2 5-star matches on the same card.
I would love to know what Dave gave some of the matches on WrestleMania.
I could probably find out for you.
Oh boy! Just open up a can of worms, there, Beans.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I do wonder, especially on that wonderful John Cena and Undertaker match after he gave birth.
Oh, I think that's going to be a very high rating. Okay, I can tell you Undertaker Cena got 1.25 stars.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I didn't have as big of a problem with this as everyone seemed to have. I didn't think it was that bad. It was
fine. It was just very short.
Yeah, but
it all kind of made sense at the end of it, why they'd done what they'd done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's get on to that, I guess. WrestleMania. Okay, I'll give you a pre-match video package for this one. We are up to... Smoot, you're on 63 points on the prediction game. Will 71, Bean 77. I think maybe we should take away that Orton DQ point.
No.
I don't know that was the right move. I'm ahead on 1 point ahead on 78 out of 118. So this was 14 matches. Anything can happen. Just about, I think. Well, actually, Smoot couldn't win. But, anything else could happen. We kick off, as always, with the kickoff. And this was the difference maker. This was the decider, really. Matt Hardy winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. 30 men in the end.
I hated this.
You had no idea how much I was so angry as soon as I saw Bray Wyatt's thing start. Because I looked at the people in the ring and I thought, Matt's definitely won this. And then the Bray Wyatt little video thing came on as he obviously made his surprise entrance, and part of me's thinking, oh no, is he just going to cost? Yeah, is he just going to cost in the match? And I was like, no. And then all of a sudden, I liked Bray.
I also
know how to act.
I also like that they gave Hardy the win because technically Bray Wyatt wasn't in the match for a undetermined amount of participants in a battle royal.
Yeah, I guess you have to be in the ring when the bell went.
Yeah,
because I guess that's the rule.
If people were confused by Shayna Baszler popping a shoulder back in on the ring post, then God knows what people thought when this happened.
Yeah, well, apparently they didn't really know what to expect until Matt Hardy's music played.
Because even the commentators reacted the same as we did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even they didn't know. So Matt Hardy won. It wasn't a repeat for Mojo Rawley or second one for Baron Corbin.
Thank God.
Yeah. Wonderful.
No big returns in this either.
No big Cass.
That was a bold pick. I was kind of expecting Big Cass to pull a Bray Wyatt sort of thing, but actually win.
I thought he might at least been in the match, but shows what I know.
Although, can you imagine if they just carried on booking it the way that they did, and he was just in the match, never got an entrance, just got thrown out, and he's like, oh, he's back now.
Big ass.
So I think it was a good call to hold him off.
Yeah, probably.
I just don't see what they're going to do with him. He's got nothing. He's just a big guy.
And they don't have Enzo to have him throw around anymore.
He'll be alright as long as he just speeds his talking up on promos.
I don't know. I don't see it.
Because he just talks like he's a little bit slow.
It's true. That was a good big guess.
Was it? I wasn't real. I was just kind of.
In the room.
Oh.
Then we had Cedric Alexander beating Mustafa Ali. That was a shocker, wasn't it?
Oh, no, hold on.
Actually,
yeah, I thought the women's battle royal was next.
No, that was the pre-show main event.
Okay. Then yeah, the cruiserweights. Oh man,
cruiserweights.
Mustafa Ali's entrance. Wow.
I missed it. I was late.
Oh
yeah.
What was his entrance like?
He had the Iron Man thing going on.
Yeah.
But the lighting effects on the hand torch thing, what he had, was phenomenal when he was stood in the smoke at the entranceway.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really good.
Looked like a Mortal
It did
Kombat.
make me think that you will lose.
It looked like a Mortal Kombat
it did
character.
a bit, yeah. Yeah.
And Boone, I think,
Sub-Zero.
commented on it as well.
Right. It did make me think that he was losing though, because he got the bigger entrance.
Cedric Alexander has been the favourite forever. So I didn't say it. Beans, you got a point for Matt. We all did except Smoot. It's a bad start to the show. We thought Mustafa Ali would have it.
Yeah, I mean, I went with the underdog. There was a couple spots where it looked like he was going to win it, but I guess, I don't know. I guess Cedric Alexander deserved it more, because up until you guys pointed that out, that Alexander had like a couple title matches lined up, but had stuff get in the way of him, like with the Enzo thing and the other stuff. I was like, that's a valid point. And plus, he looked pretty elated and looked like he was whispering stuff to Ali after the pinfall and such there.
Yeah, it was a nice touch.
Yeah.
But this is the thing that irritates me as well, is because it's like they're obviously both baby faces going into the match, and they cut good promos going into it, but they didn't, none of them turned. They had the match, and they still, there's still baby faces coming out of it. And this thing of like WWE hates or feels that they can't book matches with two faces, I just don't get it, especially for seeing how many matches that we watched that are two heels going at one each. It's like, why can't you just have two guys that are supposed to be, good guys and in the spirit of good competition, rather than, one of them has to become heel at this point, as we saw later on with Nakamura.
Yeah, it can be done. Where were we? So the women's battle royal. Yeah, the women's battle royal. Only 20 women in this battle royal, and again, not many big returns or surprise entrants. Just another one that was kind of there. Naomi won. It's a surprise. She hid under the ring, I guess.
I was so angry at this. I had predicted this to the T, up till the point when Naomi just magically appeared in the ring.
Yeah.
It was I don't get why they did it. It was the perfect thing for Bayley, because if they hadn't already done that stupid scrap in the school lockers, then, Bayley throwing her over to win it after, using her own tactics against her, then Sasha was perfectly set up to do the proper, heel and snap on her the following night or whatever. And we're still in the middle of this Hardy Friends. And it's like, it just irritated me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I didn't get Bayley's reaction to it as well. Like, she thought she'd won, and then she looked at Naomi and was almost like, is Bayley trying to be heel now? Like, she reacted in a bad way, like, you're thinking, you've just got another opponent, why aren't you just going to it? And instead you had this really worried look on your face, and you'd already lost the match kind of thing. It was bizarre.
Yeah. So no points for anyone there. And we are back to Sasha and Bayley as kind of halfway friends again.
Yeah.
I guess that brawl in the locker room didn't happen. Like when Miz and Sandow split up. They split up and then they didn't, and then they did again, and then they didn't. Yeah. I completely forgot to mention.
I agree.
Forgot to mention on the NXT show during the ladder match, Morrow is, for a good announcer, he's not very good, is he?
What do you mean?
Well, Will shared us that video earlier, and he is infuriating. But that ladder match especially, where he yelled, and this is a quote, "The NXT universe chanting fight forever. This is the NXT version of the Infinity War. But it's not about the 6 Infinity Stones. It's about these 6 superstars with the stones to go through hell to make history."
I think that's just
awesome.
I think it's WWE's way to try to be relevant with pop culture.
I think that's Morrow's way.
Yeah.
I don't know that was fed to him, because he's got lots of these.
That's true.
Well, I've noticed a few little things like that. He's not getting told that.
I wouldn't be too sure, because Michael Cole comes out with some doozies.
He does, it's true. But Vince tells Cole what to say, and Cole tells the NXT guys what to say. So I don't know.
It's like Chinese whispers. Maybe Vince was like, maybe we should just get a reference in about Infinity War, and then Cole interprets it.
Infinity War is.
Well, no, maybe Vince's grandkids told him about Infinity War and kept going on about it, and then Vince thought it'd be a good idea to mention it on the show. So he said it in a headset to Michael Cole. Michael Cole then said it in a headset to Morrow, and then Morrow thought, I'm going with it.
Like a big telephone chain.
Yeah, the big Chinese whisper things, whatever they call them.
I'm not sure you're allowed to call it Chinese whispers anymore.
No.
I think this has happened before, hasn't it? This feels vaguely familiar. I'm in trouble again, aren't I?
Maybe.
I do apologise. There was no racial element that was meant to come into this.
I think it's just called the telephone game.
Telephone game.
Sure, yeah, telephone. Was there an actual telephone game? I'm just thinking of when I was a kid, and I know there was Dream Phone for girls.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was an advert that would always come on TV.
Dream.
I didn't have one. Yeah, I think it was called Dream Phone,
Yes,
and there would
yes.
be different boyfriends that would call you on the phone.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's correct.
Smoot remembers. Good.
Yeah.
Why isn't Bailey coming out with it?
Oh, yeah, she would be perfect for it.
No, she's never kissed a boy. That's not me. I'm not, that was the story.
I know.
Oh.
Just reminded me of it. That was the problem.
It's okay. I've got my Dream Phone. Who needs a real boy?
I'm with you, Beans. I've never ever had
No,
them.
I've never heard one. I had a
Oh,
talk.
well, I'm going to have to look this up now, and
No,
then that's going to be on my
it-
search history forever.
Yeah, it's on the stream right now. It's on the stream right now. You don't have to be on a
Oh,
watch
shit, really?
list. Yeah.
I never thought that we'd be talking about a kid's toy
Me neither.
on a WrestleMania review show.
Here
Oh
you
my
go.
God.
Yeah,
What the-
there you go.
Don't,
I
I'm going to
didn't
say,
remember what it was called. That's amazing.
I reckon Paul Heyman had one of them as a kid.
Okay.
Move
Okay.
on, quickly.
Moving on.
Um, I remember having a talk boy, like the Home Alone thing.
Oh my
I
A
god.
remember
talk
that.
boy?
A talk boy.
Yes.
Remember the talk
yes.
boy?
Yes, I do.
Well,
What did a
stop,
talk boy do?
stop, get your heads out of the gutter.
I'm saying nothing.
You've seen Home Alone.
I have.
You must know what a talk boy is.
Yeah.
You're going to have to remind me.
It's on the stream. It's on the stream.
It's like
Stream's always a little behind.
I know.
Talk boy. Oh, like a voice recorder.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, it's just
Yeah.
a dictaphone.
Take the phone.
it's called a talk boy. Read it.
Talk boy. Why is it called a talk boy?
Because that was the name of it.
Yeah, but why? It's
No, I was like 10.
just a voice recorder. Yeah, I know you didn't name it. I'm not blaming you.
I
I
am.
wasn't aware at the time of what process they went through for production.
Cassette. Just a voice recorder with a cassette.
And you could slow the voice down or speed it up if you recorded it in certain speeds.
Wow, the 90s were awesome. Anything was possible. Okay, enough about that. Boys, let's talk about the main show. The main WrestleMania 34, the 5-hour portion, kicked off with the three-way for the...
Hour portion.
It was the 5-hour portion.
I know, it just sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. Everything to now was just preamble. Now, so Seth Rollins, your new Intercontinental Champion, another guy to have just recently joined the Grand Slam club, beat Miz for the belt, who is now going to have to wait probably 2-3 months to break his record, and Finn Balor. Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I liked his Game of Thrones entrance.
Was that Game
Yeah.
of Thrones? Really? I don't know.
Yeah, he came out as a like the Night King from Game of Thrones with the blue eyes.
Oh, yeah, the blue eyes, that's right.
Looked quite creepy.
Yeah, I see it now, but was it Game of Thrones? I have to get the reference. But
Yeah, basically it's like the zombies in Game of Thrones and they're called White Walkers, but basically they're just like undead people, but their eyes glow blue, like that.
Yeah.
So obviously it was just reference to that, but it's quite cool. It was a nice, easy thing to do production-wise. It didn't involve pyro and stuff. Just put some blue contacts in and put some blue eyes on a screen.
Mm.
I don't know if he was playing the Night King, though. I think he was just playing Roman Reigns.
God.
It's, if you remember, a couple of years ago, Roman would wear blue contacts for reasons I've never quite worked out.
Did he?
That's that reference. Yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why they would do that. It looked very
Is that what made him look weird?
Yeah.
Right. I remember him looking weird. But I can't remember why. It made sense to me anyway.
Right.
How fast do you guys keep finding stuff?
I don't know if you know about it. There's this incredible resource where you can find any information. Click of a button.
I'm still playing with my Talk Boy, so I have no idea what you're on about.
Oh my. Save that till after the show.
Yeah. That's not PG.
It's not PG. Anything to say about this triple threat? It was kind of there.
I thought it was one of the better matches.
Yeah. I thought the Rollins Balor match on Raw was better, but nothing wrong with it. Sure.
Yeah. Surprised that they went with Seth.
Yeah. I think we all were, considering we all predicted the other guys.
Yeah.
But, how long did it go for this? Because it felt like a decent length opener.
15 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it set the tone quite good. It was a good opening match.
Yeah. The IC titles job. Open the show with something fast-paced and exciting. We did that. Good work, guys. I don't think Rollins is going to hold that belt for very long, though. Something tells me this is just a moment for WrestleMania and not a whole lot more.
Maybe it takes it to SmackDown.
That's very possible.
Yeah.
Very possible. And then that presumably means Jinder goes to Raw, which, yeah, I can see that.
I don't think Seth's going from Raw just for the Monday Night Rollins soon.
Tuesday night, Seth
Rollins.
Oh my god, that is awful. That is awful.
Which one?
Yeah, which one?
Seth down.
Oh, what?
So he likes Trollins. I like it.
He likes,
Go with it.
likes Trollins.
That was not that great either, but
Okay, enough about these guys. Charlotte beat Asuka by submission. That was a stupid decision, if you ask me.
why? 'Cause it
Not
got
so
me a
much for
point?
Smoot. Yeah, because of that.
Yeah.
Because they
Can I
had
just say
something.
on this that Smoot out of all this show. So what is this? The fourth match of the 14.
Yeah.
Fifth.
Smoot decided to start bragging on Twitter about getting this right when he's not got a point so far.
I don't care. I got this one right when everybody like scoffed at me.
So this was your mojo moment from
Yes.
last year.
Yes. Let me have it.
Yeah, I will. It was a
Okay.
good call.
They had something with Asuka. That streak was something. And they gave it to Charlotte for nothing at all.
An accolade.
Nothing at all.
An
Nothing
accolade.
at all. An accolade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Not even a
Giving it
Rusev
to
accolade.
Charlotte so she can take it to Rousey.
But they could have just had Asuka with Rousey. Like, the Charlotte and Rousey thing is already there. They're both horsewomen.
I think that they're thinking more about build-ups. Like, Asuka might be a problem to build up with Rousey. Because if you think of, like, promos between Charlotte and Rousey, you're probably thinking Charlotte will take the lead on most of the main bits. Rousey will be, like, reactionary to what Charlotte says. Whereas if it was Asuka and Rousey, I'm not quite sure who'd take the lead on that. You'd be reliant on a lot of video stuff and...
Then do video stuff. With
Yeah, I don't
you know,
disagree.
you don't have to always do the. You're probably right, and I'm sure they felt that the streak was limiting what they could do. But just keep it for a bit. Do the Asuka. She's got the streak. Maybe even that be the next thing. Anna should be champion. Something. It just seems like there's two matches there. If there's the streak and then there's Charlotte, you could do two big things with Rousey, and now the Asuka thing's not as big as it would have been.
Yeah.
I don't mind it ending, but I thought it was one of them things. If you were going to do it, it makes sense to do it at Mania. I didn't really like the idea of the promo at the end when she shouted that Charlotte was ready for Asuka. It was a bit...
Yeah, I didn't like that myself.
Yeah. What I didn't like most was that I couldn't spend more than a minute watching this match without seeing John Cena's face.
Yeah.
'Cause he was at ringside, by the way. You're not allowed to forget that.
Oh, I'd forgotten. I needed the reminder.
Apparently, according to people in the building, he'd been there this whole time, and somewhere in the middle, a group of police surrounded him, rushed him out, then a couple of minutes later rushed him back in. Probably taking a piss.
Yeah. I
Yep.
think that's what it was, yeah.
Needed security for that.
Dear Lord.
Imagine being the police officer on duty to escort John Cena to, like, a bathroom.
Wouldn't you have been tempted to lock him in the bathroom?
Tell him it's for his own well-being.
Yeah.
It's for the good of the card.
Next one up is the four-way from SmackDown. Randy Orton defending unsuccessfully against Bobby Roode and Rusev, and now champion Jinder Mahal.
Oh, this is WWE in a nutshell, isn't it?
Isn't it just? Something gets over, and we can't run with it. We just can't. It wasn't in the plans.
It's like, I remember when we was watching it and I was with my mates, and it's like, so you've got four guys. Three of them you would accept winning this. You're thinking, Rude's only just been champion and lost it recently. It wouldn't be that bad a thing if you gave it back to him. Orton's only just won it, so it doesn't make much sense taking it off him. Rusev is the most over guy at the minute and totally deserves it and has been added at last minute because he's over so much. And Jinder is Vince McMahon's choice.
I guess you got to give Vince something.
Ugh.
I guess one of his favorites has to win. I don't get it. None of us do. We all thought Rusev, which, looking back, they forced him into the match because they felt they had to. I should have taken that as a sign that he wasn't going to win it, because he wasn't supposed to be there. They've already changed plans once to put him in the match. Are they going to change plans again to have him win it? Probably not.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh well, next year. The match itself, any good? It was about 8 minutes long. I thought it was a bit nothing. So I actually used this match to catch up on the men's battle royal.
Wow.
I had them both on.
That is like the most damning thing I've ever heard. I used your match at WrestleMania to catch up on the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yeah, that's... Wow.
I love battle royals.
Like, damn.
I think I spent most of this one checking on my pizza, actually. So.
Oh my god.
I might have been making cups of tea at this point. I don't know. I remember it happening. I remember seeing the finish and just going, oh.
Yeah. What kind of pizza did you have, Will?
It was a double pepperoni from Tesco.
Ah.
Tesco? Oh.
Tesco?
There's one thing worse than pepperoni. More pepperoni.
Oh, you're one of these weirdos with this pineapple on it.
I'll have you know, pineapple goes very well on a pizza.
No, it doesn't.
Oh no, what a dickhead.
Get off the show.
I'm disappointed. I hope Beans wins this thing now.
All three of you?
No chance does a pineapple go on a pizza. This has been
Not a pineapple, not like a whole pineapple.
any form of a pineapple.
If it's a pineapple, get away from my pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Pineapple famously goes well with cheese.
Okay, that's great. Great for cheese and pineapple.
Yeah. I think they just killed Will on that one.
Cheese is on a pizza.
Go cheese.
Yeah.
Pineapple can come along as like a one.
No.
I get the feeling that this debate is going to go longer than Jinder Mahal's title win.
Oh God. Jesus.
Yeah, it's an ongoing debate, and it's one of those that you can't. It's an argument that both sides feel strangely passionately about, but we can never get to any kind of resolution. Like either you like it or you don't, and there's no logic to it. There's no reasoning. There's no like political, benefit one way. You can't. There's no conclusion to come to. It's like the war in the Middle East.
Oh wow!
It's exactly the same thing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Dark turn.
I'm not
Real
quite sure
Palestine
what
over
the
here.
hell I'm supposed
Throw
to
an
say.
anti-pineapple.
I think my internet's breaking, guys.
It's good though. Good pineapple goes well with
You're not
something
saying
salty. Something like salty topping like bacon.
Bacon and pineapple. Get out.
No.
Ham and
No,
pineapple is a thing. A Hawaiian pizza. That's not
Yeah.
weird.
Well,
I'm sorry, but if you order like a gammon steak and like, do you want a pineapple?
Pineapple
on top
ring?
of it, I'll look at you like I want to hit you. Like, no.
So you're saying there's no place for pineapple anywhere?
Not in my diet.
pineapple on its own is fine, or as some sort of like dessert. But on a pizza, no.
Pineapple on its own, the enzymes in the pineapple will eat away at your mouth.
Oh my God.
That's why it kind of tastes a bit weird after a while.
Oh my God.
It's true.
But why have it?
Why have it? Because it's nice. It's sweet. It's juicy. Why eat an orange?
You'll put orange on pizzas.
No, you don't.
No, that would be weird. Actually, it'd probably be quite nice. You can have orange chicken.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
You can have duck à l'orange. So I don't see why it wouldn't go on a pizza.
My bad.
Try
I
that
think
one.
I just deafened the audience there. Sorry about that.
Is that a soundbite?
Yeah, no, switch it. Oh, kind of. Sure. Switching audio tracks there. My bad.
I think we've digressed slightly.
Yeah,
Seems like
yeah.
that's the
I
law.
mean, this is like the strangest review show for WrestleMania ever. The conversations we're having in this is bizarre, to say the least.
I ate pasta for WrestleMania. Way too much pasta. I suffered for it.
I ate a lot of quavers.
You can eat a lot of quavers though. They're made
You
of
can.
nothing.
Yeah, they're not.
Well, to be fair, I haven't had them for ages. My mate just brought a big bag round and just kept chucking us one every match.
Yeah, they kind of disappear. It's kind of like skips or something. They just go. Dissolve. Thing there.
What's it?
What's it's exactly? Yeah. How do you know what's it from?
I know. I used to always love the prawn cocktail. What's it, man?
Oh my God.
I never had those, but the salt and vinegar skips were good. Oh, it's salt and vinegar quavers. Sorry, salt and vinegar quavers. They were. That was a good
Yeah,
crispy.
they don't do them anymore, do they?
Have you seen that Coke have downsized their bottles? Outrage.
Oh.
They downsized from 2 liters to 1.75 and now to 1.5. And they're more expensive. Sugar tax.
Dodgy.
Dodgy. Okay, we'll get back to the snacks. That was just intermission.
Have you seen Smooth's comment in the chat?
Fuck, it's a quaver. It's a music note worth like half a minim or something. I don't know.
All right, sure.
Does anyone
Lord knows
play
I love me
music
some music.
If anyone plays music, you can tell us what a quaver is, how many minims or crotchets they are.
Smooth, I'm sure you'll be able to research it if you put it into a Google search engine.
Ah, that's true. Hold on.
If you can find Dream Phone, you can find a quaver.
Oh my God.
All right, Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey in what may have been match of the night beat Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Steph had a lot of counters to the armbar. People seem to criticize that a little bit. I think it's all right. She's in decent shape. That was part of the storyline. And she was training constantly armbar defense. So I'm okay with it. In the end, she got her arm nearly broken. So everyone's happy in the end. She can still write checks.
Yeah, I love that she actually did it to her left arm. like as if she actually did listen to the promo. Because she did say that she was right-handed, didn't she?
Yeah.
Smoot just said they look like Funyuns. I think I had them. I don't think they taste like Funyuns.
No, they
too
just look
much.
like them.
I always think Funyuns must look like onion rings.
Yeah, they are. I think they're in the shape of a quaver, but they have the taste of an onion ring.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's weird.
A little bit.
Funyuns. Onion flavored rings. No, Funyuns are rings.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, they're not like our onion rings, because I have had Funyuns and I remember them not being the same. They're a bit lighter Funyuns.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Whoa. Just give me
the Rousey Angle and Triple H Steph, I think, probably was the best match on the card for entertainment purposes, definitely.
And for surprisingly good, pleasantly surprised, whatever, blah blah. What's the word I'm looking for? Exceeding expectations.
Okay.
Exceeding expectations.
It exceeded expectations. I knew that Triple H would be solid, Kurt Angle would probably be fine. I thought they would be in it for 90%, and then the girls would get in just to do the finish. No, they all handled a good chunk of the match each. All played their part, did really well.
Yeah, I agree.
Ronda seems to get it. I know she's been training a while,
definitely.
but for someone who hasn't been doing this and is in her... how old is she now? Early 30s?
Yeah, somewhere up there.
31, I think.
Yeah.
She's good.
I said it pretty much on the night. I think this was the best match of the night.
Yeah, it kind of was. I know a lot of people had low expectations on it, and they weren't, expecting the greatest match ever, but on the card, it definitely was probably one of the greatest matches ever. In my opinion.
I think this was.
Especially with
Sorry,
somebody out of the sport of WWE.
Well, and Steph.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Her too.
Yeah, surprisingly good.
I think this was the first time that watching a WrestleMania match with Triple H that I actually thought, oh my god, he's actually starting to look a little bit his age now. not in like performance wise, I just mean physique. I know he trimmed down a lot, but when you can just tell someone's getting a bit older now.
Yeah, you're showing it a little bit. And I think it's the first time, at least in a very long time, that Triple H didn't go way too long. This is 20 minutes, which before the show I would have said was too long, but no, this was fine.
I bet it was still one of the longer matches of the night, wasn't it?
It was the longest match of the night. By 20
Right.
seconds, it was the longest match of the night.
Yeah. I thought Kurt did well. It was one of them things where he had that match at TLC when he came back on short notice, and it was just a bit of a crazy. It was a stip heavy match, weren't it, with a lot of hardcore stuff. And then we had him at Survivor Series, where apparently didn't he say that he injured his leg in the warm up to it or something, or he damaged it in his training.
Yeah, I know he couldn't do as much as they had planned.
So I don't think we ever really got to see the best of Kurt, really. So this was like his first major kind of match where he looked healthy going into it, even though he did have his leg heavily taped up. But yeah, I thought he did really well.
That's in good shape for his age too. Still looked
yeah.
pretty much like he did 20 years ago.
I was happy that he was wearing his proper singlet rather than that weird thing that he wore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a fantastic one. And also, I loved the little touch of Steph at the end when she was about to put the armbar on, screaming, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
In a desperate attempts to try and not let her do it, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought Steph was brilliant. Even during the match, just the old classic heel stuff she was doing. Just thought she was really good.
They did well as well. 'Cause there's that sequence as well where they both had them in the submission, and you thought, oh, they're just both going to tap out at the same time.
Yeah.
And then they carried it on again, but it didn't feel like it overstayed its welcome. It was done so well.
I've been saying for weeks that's the finish. They're going to get the double submission and that'll be it. And then they did that spot and it wasn't it, and it was fine. You know, they still had more to do.
Unlike the Bailey and Naomi thing.
Well,
Damn you, Naomi. But yeah, enjoyed it. Probably
enjoyed
best
it.
match.
It was very good. Very, very good. Then, oh, well, okay. We had the New Day, and this reminds me, all throughout the show, various people had augmented reality entrances
Yeah.
with 3D graphics that they look terrible.
Yeah.
They look like N64 era things just thrown up.
Especially the one for Asuka.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I didn't mind like the Miz one and stuff like that.
The Miz's one looked good, yeah, I thought.
Hot wife.
Um,
Yeah. Just loads of buzzwords around him.
but yeah, the Asuka one,
star.
because of the lines, did look very strange.
The New Days one with the pancakes, that was just
Pancakes.
just silly.
It was silly. The whole thing was silly, and it didn't even look good. It was the graphics looked old.
Thing is, though, because it's augmented reality, it'll look different when you're looking at it through the headset, won't it?
Yeah.
Maybe, but when they did that same thing at the Olympics, it looked great. No, I watched the Winter Olympics. Okay, fine then.
I did actually mean to watch it, but I didn't.
Great.
Sorry.
Sounds like Winter Olympics to me. Okay, so Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan, they are the new SmackDown Tag Champions, beating New Day and the Usos. No surprises. I think we all know. Well, you thought the New Day. Oh man, the points for the rest of us. The Bludgeon Brothers win.
This is like, I think this was probably the most disappointing match.
Yeah, it was the shortest one I felt on the card. Up there with the Cena and
Nearly.
Undertaker. Yeah.
Cena and Undertaker, and then the other tag match. That didn't go very long.
But yeah, I was just disappointed that it ended so quickly. It felt like a filler moment, this. You think like all the build-up that they had to Usos finally having a main card match, and
Yeah, this is it.
that were it. You're thinking you've had better matches on the pre-show, boys.
Yeah, but then on a show like this, so long, so many matches, it's maybe for the best that the Usos and the New Day can do their thing somewhere else, where they might get some time and maybe have a chance of stealing the show again, like they do.
But the thing is you think like this match could, like, you know, if they'd have made that a main event of like a SmackDown, that could have gone on for like 40 minutes and be a really good match. It could have been a really good. It could have been a really good pay-per-view match on a different pay-per-view, but the fact that you've got 14 matches and everything is just crammed onto one card, it's like, I'd rather you just not put that many matches on.
Yeah, I kind of agree. This is always going to get a bit lost.
You look back at old WrestleMania cards and like you know you've got classic WrestleManias that were like 2.5, 3 hours, and not everyone made it onto the card. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. This wasn't your year. You know what I mean? Like, not every player goes to the World Cup. It's like, but WWE are obsessed with making sure that every single superstar that they've got on the books has a moment, and it's like,
Except John Cena. Oh no, Cena did. I thought he was going to have no road to WrestleMania this year. I thought he was going to be the one guy.
I thought he wasn't going to take like a spot away from all the people on the card, yet here he is interrupting everybody's match by just sitting in the crowd.
stealing someone's front row seats.
Yeah.
That poor pregnant woman's husband sat at home going, for God's sake.
We didn't mention earlier that he did run off after the Charlotte match, and then he came back here.
Can I just say as well, that rushing off thing was really stupid.
It's really poorly timed, I think.
Yeah,
stealing
like
Charlotte's
you just had probably one of the better women's matches that you can think of, and then you go and obviously they've played up the big moment of Asuka's streak ending.
Yeah.
You've already had a difficult moment where Asuka's like done this awkward promo endorsing Charlotte,
Yeah.
and then next minute you've got her sat in the ring like kind of awkwardly smiling, like what's happening?
Yeah, and then Dan Engler, the referee, comes down and is like, "Hey, Undertaker's here," and then Cena's like, "No, he's not."
I did read something to say that I think they'd kind of planned it to try and make people think that possibly a cash-in was coming because it was a ref running down the aisle and Charlotte was there kind of thing, but I don't think it was made that obvious to play on the tease.
Yeah, I can see that, but
I just didn't like the Cena thing, sprinting back up the ramp like an idiot.
Yeah, I think the arena crowd might have thought a cash-in was happening when the ref came running down. But to the home viewer audience, like there was a little bit of a focus on him jogging to Cena. So
yeah. So Cena came back at this point anyway, ready for a match. They announced the match, and then another ref came out and said that he's not here.
Yeah.
Something weird like that, yeah.
Cena basically spent like 40 minutes getting dressed. And then
putting on his jorts.
The Vietnamese referee was like, "Hey, yeah, he's not here." And then he got all depressed and whatnot, and
then the lights go out, and instead of Undertaker's dong, we got Elias's strumming
I
guitar.
forgot about that. That was great.
Expecting somebody else? I can't believe how much they teased this Undertaker thing, even throughout the show.
Yeah.
We all knew he was there, and they still kept doing it. Yeah, I thought it was pretty great.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, they really are going this length with it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So this was Cena not taking someone else's spot, just taking up 40 minutes on the show.
Yeah, stealing a fan seat, beating up one of the other competitors, and then actually do have a match on the card, which probably ain't time from the Usos.
So Elias sung a song. People seem to be quite into him. Then Cena beat him up and tried to walk out again. And then the Undertaker shows up. He was actually here the whole time. Oh, his hat and coat appeared in the ring.
Oh, damn, that lightning was bad.
The lightning was terrible.
Yeah.
It always looks bad, but this was really bad. They superimposed it or whatever over the ropes. So it's supposed to hit the middle of the ring, but you could see it on the near side of the ropes.
Yeah.
I don't get why they don't just use like a real dull light to like slowly come on in the darkness, you know, like kind of eerie. With
I
like
just take the lights off, lights on thing. When they turn the lights off, are we supposed to think that they're disappearing? Because if they were disappearing, they would need the lights to go off.
Damn, you can't just give away your powers like that. Like Undertaker was stood right here, but he just evaporated on live TV.
Yeah. So the lights have to go off, and then he teleports, and then they come back on. Whoa, where did he go?
Oh, damn. I've just...
Yeah, I took that screenshot from the thing.
Oh my god. I knew it were bad, but I don't remember it being that bad.
It looks like I've drawn it on in paint.
It really does. Oh, it's shit like that that makes me think it should have been the Biker Taker that came out.
Yeah, would have been easier. That Kid Rock right there.
No, they didn't.
Oh, yeah. That's true, they did.
He'd buggered off home the night before.
I can't believe that. Is that the only person ever in the Hall of Fame ever to come out on the... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember. That's weird how I've forgotten that. That was the first one I was ever at, and I remember Howard Finkel making the announcement. Bret Hart has decided not to attend tonight. And everyone's like, what the fuck?
Okay, so then there was a match. Undertaker did show up. They had a match.
No, they
it was
didn't.
all. Well, yeah, they barely had a match. It was all big moves. 3 minutes and it was over. 3 minutes and he's out of there.
See, I don't know how to feel about this.
Why?
Because I kind of like feel that the impression that I got from it is that Undertaker didn't like how it went with the Roman Reigns match last year. He wanted to go out on a higher point. So they realized that he can't have a match anymore, and basically gave this build where people are not expecting something but kind of are, so that it isn't as bad when they realize that it's literally a squash match where he's just doing his major things. This was the equivalent of like Undertaker coming out on a Raw in like 5 years' time and just tombstoning someone and then going out on like a special anniversary show or something.
Mm-hmm.
And whilst he looked in a lot better shape than I thought he did against Roman Reigns, and he did well in his movesets, he only took one bump in the whole match, and it weren't really a match. So I liked it to a degree, but also I was a bit like, I understand why they've not made such a big thing out of it and announcing it, because if that was what they could achieve, then people obviously would have been disappointed if there'd have been a massive build match and that was it.
Yeah.
But then also there's been news since that, like, he obviously isn't done because he's having a match in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, we will get to that. I think maybe if you count all of that bit with Cena coming out and back and forth and then Elias and whatever, kind of as part of the segment as a whole, it went, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something. It was like a good chunk of time. And the match itself was only what we really needed to see in the match. They didn't do enough to risk, botching anything. Like, he always tries to do the tombstone where the guy flips over behind and then lifts him up for the tombstone. Last couple of times he's tried it, it hasn't worked. They didn't bother with any of that, nothing more than the bare minimum, the basics that we need to see.
I was kind of surprised that Cena went down to one tombstone as well.
Again, why drag it out? I think this is what people wanted to see.
Taker was working out on Michelle's Instagram.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but if you wanted to add another minute to it, just to, you know what I mean? He could have kicked out and he could have got up, just pulled his best straps down and done it again and then
done it again. Well, yeah, they could have, but I see the point in that. Just
it
do
was
the
one of them things
done.
that, yeah, I mean, I'm not bothered, and you have to kind of like credit Cena for allowing it to happen to a degree as well, because
he probably thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Like at this point, Cena's got nothing to prove. He's not in a big match. I don't know if he doesn't want to be in a big match, but he has talked about this match as being not taking a spot away from someone else. This was just a thing to do. It's a match against The Undertaker. It's cool.
Yeah, but if this match happened 5 years ago, there was a serious chance that
a real match.
Cena would have really had a possibility of ending the streak.
That's true. That's true.
And then this one, he just literally lay down for him.
And if they had done it a couple of years back when Taker wrestled Bray Wyatt, it could have been better than that match. But at this point, we've seen so many Undertaker WrestleMania matches that just aren't very good. Going back to the Lesnar one,
I just put up a shot of Undertaker's face on the tombstone. He's like, "Arr!"
Oh yeah, it looks like Cena's giving birth to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was a bit strange, and also as well, it was that kind of thing that as soon as it had finished, it was like he's going up the ramp and doing his arm thing, like at the end, and you're thinking, so you had this massive send off last year. He's just squashed Cena, and now he's just walking out like normal, and it's like, what is this? Like, and then you got commentary afterwards saying he's back, and it's like, oh my god! So now he's not even retired. Like now he's flaming.
Well, that's it. It's classic WWE. They're rewriting history. They don't want you to remember the Reigns match. They want you to remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this isn't his send-off now, is it? Because he's back. So now it's like, well, what do you want now? How do you retire him now?
Is he back?
Maybe you don't. maybe this is at this point, he's really old. He's not gonna be having any more great matches, and if he did, it's probably not for the best for him. So why not just have him do this, show people a choke slam and a tombstone, give people the entrance once a year, and add a number to the streak, which isn't a streak. You know, just like you say, come out on the main show, tombstone someone. That'd be it. That's all anyone wants to see. And it doesn't have to be a big name like Cena every year. It can be Elias next year. And then that's just, it's a WrestleMania moment every year.
Could be Rusev 08.
It could be Rusev, yeah.
I don't know.
I think you're expecting too much.
I was just kind of thinking that it made sense the way it had all set up to bring the biker gimmick in, just purely because then he's able to cut promos and he's also be able to be a bit more human. So like when you're thinking of Hall of Fames and stuff like that, then you're gonna, break that character a little bit. Whereas this now, we're just back into the same scenario we was before, and it's like, what are you going to do if you ever want to? He deserves a big send-off, which he had last year to a degree. But when he does finally decide that he wants to hang it up, then what can you do but replicate what you've already done?
Maybe. It all depends on when they decide to do it. I think this is something he could do for another few years. Then maybe he can have a feud with Matt Hardy, fall into the Lake of Reincarnation, and then be the biker.
Oh, God.
There is some talk that we might...
If you think that Vince McMahon is going to go to The Undertaker and say, we want you to fall in line with Matt Hardy's TNA gimmick.
God. What were you going to say, Will? Sorry.
There is some talk I've seen online of possibly might be getting Cena Taker again next year, but if career versus career.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Never before, never again. Oh, wait.
Once in a lifetime.
That's where Cena comes out in the build-up saying, I wasn't ready.
Oh, man.
Well, also as well, does this? I mean, you were thinking as well about Cena. Like he said, he came out and did that promo where he'd been literally lost everything for the last 6 months, listed off nearly every pay-per-view, and then he's faced Cena, he's faced Undertaker at Mania, and he got beaten in less than
3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes. So I nearly did the Eric Bischoff line then. Please someone tell me they got that.
Yeah,
but I did it earlier. Said he was 3 minutes and he's out of there.
Oh, right, sorry.
I just didn't say
That's
3
why
minutes.
I can't. Someone said May 19th the other day, and it's well, there's that. There's certain things, man. 3 minutes sticks in the mind.
Well, yeah, I kept thinking, like, is there a chance that we get, like, the possibility of doing, like, the Cena heel turn or something moving forward? Because he isn't the main, like you said, he's not the main guy anymore. You've got Reigns, you've got Bryan now, who's, like, your main baby faces, if you like, for, WWE as a whole. Cena's not going to be doing much. But when you think back to like Hogan when he did his turn, that was like a second coming of his character when it had become very stale and when he was at the end of his career.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be more interesting if Cena did something like that moving forward?
Maybe. But I don't know how much Cena we're going to be seeing lately.
It just annoys me that these kind of things happen. Like, we've not seen Cena since, we've not seen Undertaker since, and it's not being referenced.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's like, yeah, it's just going to be, it might get referenced, like you said, in 12 months if they're having a rematch.
Yeah, but we're in that sort of period where we don't know what's happening because the shake-up's coming, isn't it? So they don't really want to pull the trigger on any storylines yet. I mean, obviously there's ongoing stuff still, but they don't really want to make any big And he got the Royal Rumble thing coming up as well. The greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and I think Cena's going to be on this Lesnar style schedule now. He's only going to be back when he's building something up. He's not just going to be there for a week to say, lost to the Undertaker. Now, well,
it's just annoying. Like, I mean, like I said, the story is that he can't win anything. He finally got the match with the Undertaker and he got destroyed, and now he's being announced to face Triple H in Saudi Arabia. Like, you know, Undertaker's on that card as well now. And nothing's being said.
No, I don't know if this show is going to be part of the, you know, the canon. It's going to be kind of like a rebellion or insurrection or something. It's just there. Yeah,
but the naming it on the main shows, they're talking about it like.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's on the network.
It's not being like billed as a house show. It felt like that initially, but now it's like you're turning this into a pay-per-view now. You're referencing it. You've got major matches on it, and your promo guys are talking about it. So
yeah,
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
All points all round for that Undertaker win. I'm glad we decided to predict that.
Now we're into the second half of WrestleMania.
Yeah, might as well.
Oh, what? I didn't have a backup. Damn it! I have to go run and get one.
I forgot to mention, my brother works nights, and he texted me when WrestleMania was starting, saying he was just going to work. And when I was going to bed at 5:30, he was coming home from work. He'd done a full shift.
Wow.
While I was watching WrestleMania.
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone put on it, like, on some other show, I think, said, think how many films you could have watched. It was like, oh my god. Like, I was looking at the Skybox and I've, like, recorded about 4 or 5 films, and I was looking at them all in, like, an hour and a half, and I thought, oh my god, I really could have just, like, watched 4 or 5 films in a run.
Yeah.
And I would never do that.
And you may enjoy it more, because each film will be a bit different. You know, this is wrestling. This is all wrestling.
Oh, this is the squash film.
Yeah. It's the film where the Old West zombie mortician beats the Tom Hanks 12-year-old in an adult's body.
That might be the best description I've ever heard of it. I've got this image now. What we really missed is like seeing alluding to the Undertaker and walking off with a sulk, and by the time he got to the top of the ramp, all of his clothes didn't fit him even more.
Oh, this is quite different. It's just shrinking. Okay.
Do you know, I never thought we'd be talking about Big, Talk Boys, Dream Phone, or pineapple on pizzas in a WrestleMania show. This is phenomenal.
Or what is a quaver?
Right, yeah. That too.
Okay. Daniel Bryan, and as Beans would call him, the Cripple.
What?
You did.
You did.
Apparently.
Shane the Cripple.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan and the Cripple.
Oh, right, sorry. I thought you said that Daniel Bryan was a cripple. I was going to say, don't be so rude.
No. They won. They surprisingly won. They beat Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Owens and Zayn now are not rehired, reinstated to SmackDown. So that's points off for me and Smoot. Beans, will you get one? It's looking bad. Prediction game is looking bad. Any thoughts on this one? I know there was some, what would you say, controversy necessarily, but to have all of this build-up for 2-3 years of everyone wanting to see Daniel Bryan, finally gets to the ring and then he's taken out before the match, and we have to wait through 15 minutes of shame before we actually get to see what we want.
It was the WrestleMania 30 sequel where Bryan gets carted off in a stretcher and then comes back to the ring, and
Yeah.
This would have had so much more impact if he hadn't had it done to him on the SmackDown. Because if you'd have had him come back, make his grand return, and he'd not been touched still, even though that wouldn't have made sense, because obviously why would he be having the match? But if he hadn't have been touched, and the first thing that you saw happen with Daniel Bryan was him getting powerbombed on a ring apron, then people actually would have been like, and if he were playing up, holding his head, and you know what I mean? Like, I think that would have created a little bit more jeopardy in it. But we all kind of just knew that this is building to a hot tag.
I was thinking similar, but on SmackDown, before they announced he was cleared, they should have had them attack him. Just, like, really take him out.
Yeah, they could have stopped that news getting out.
Yeah.
And have him do that fire up and do his comeback routine on him.
Yeah.
Would have been awesome.
Anyway.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But they did do that spot where he did his top rope missile dropkick, landed on his back, and then stayed down for a second.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
I think everyone was a bit, oh no, hang on.
Yeah.
They were just like, you bastard, because he just... and he just did his little nip up, and it was like, oh.
That was one of the moves. Kept saying he does the drop kicks in the corner, flips over. He's got to stop doing that. And then there's that one where he takes the huge back bump off the top. Surely he has to stop doing that, and he did it. And then, oh god!
Yeah, it gave everyone like heart missed a beat in unison.
Yeah.
What did we think to the entrance for Daniel Bryan, which blatantly ripped off Triple H's Terminator entrance from 31?
It ripped off the Matt Hardy's Vanguard 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Graphics and whatnot.
Oh, well, the Triple H one when they were looking for Sting for Termination was also very similar.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Just the Vanguard was more recent.
Well, I was going to say it was red as well, weren't it? Which Vanguard is as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
And they showed those clips from, 4 years ago or whatever of the basketball games.
It was quite cool. That, I did like that.
It was cool, but that was so long ago, and they didn't use that footage then.
No, that's criminal. But the fact that maybe they've learned from the mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh, then again, Jinder Mahal just became US champion.
Okay.
It was one of them things. It wasn't fantastic, but again, it was more about just a moment, weren't it? It was that thing of when he came out into that arena and to get that kind of reaction, it was just like,
yeah,
the emotions that must have been going through him at that point.
It was very cool, and he still looks as good as ever.
Yep.
Still go. In fact, you kind of got to wonder how taking 2 years off at his age after doing as much as he had, he worked hard for a long time.
Yeah.
Taking those 2 years off must have done him kind of good.
Yeah.
Yeah, strange, but he's probably feeling better now than he has in ages. So, points for you two, not for me in some bad times. And Owens and Zayn have to look for jobs elsewhere. We will get to that. Nia Jax beat Alexa. Apparently she loved Alexa. I didn't get that in the story.
No.
Apparently
She did say that in the bill on one of the promos, didn't she? Love you, bliss, or something like that. She said, "Love you too," or something like that. Before she heard the locker room talk.
Was that a thing? Was that just a friendship love?
Yeah,
That was
I
really
don't think it was insinuated
overreaction
to be
to that.
romantic. Yeah, I don't think
They should have gone the romantic route. That would have been a much better storyline.
I don't think Buddy Murphy would have appreciated it.
Well, kayfabe, brother. We don't have to bring that. I think that would have been a better storyline because then what Alexa said would have been even more hurtful. Pairing off with Mickie James instead would have been more hurtful. Then she would have had a reason to go kind of nuts here. Well, instead,
Magnus would have asked some questions as well.
So new Raw Women's Champion, points all round. Not a big
Nice to
fan
do
of
the
Nia's
move off the top
gear.
as well. Yeah, the ring gear was a little bit
Not flattering.
Yeah, it was.
It was one of them things that when she wore it, I thought, well, you've got to feel confident to wear stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's definitely no way that I would have wore anything like that. Let's put it that way.
Thank God.
Okay.
I reckon you could pull it off.
Thank you.
You could rock that see-through singlet thing.
Love you, Chucks.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Still, just send me some pictures. You know?
Oh my god.
Oh.
It's all right. Just
Not that kind of
I'll
show.
let you know if it looks good or
I feel
Not
not.
like
that
this
kind of
angle's
show.
gone too far.
Not that kind of show.
Why not?
Breaking the
2018.
fourth wall.
Not that kind of show.
Okay. I'm guessing no one's got anything to say about this one because this was not much of a match.
The Bullied won the title.
The bully won the title.
The Bully.
That's pretty much. If only life was that simple, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did feel a bit backwards.
What's this one?
Nia Jax and Alexa. It just seemed like everything TNA did right with Awesome Kong and like Gail Kim. They kind of got the roles backwards here.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. See what you mean.
Yeah, when you put it like that. I've not really thought about it like that, but yeah.
Oh well. AJ surprisingly retained against Nakamura.
Yeah, this was a bit of a... I can't decide whether it was just the length of the show at this point that was like starting to punch me in the face. But it just felt like it was a bit off.
I feel like
The ending of it was somewhat different, but
yeah.
the actual match itself, I can't actually say that I can remember a lot that happened in it, really.
Yeah, it was a bit of a. I don't think it lived up to the hype.
It wasn't the dream match, but I think now that Nakamura's heel, you might get a dream match out of Styles and Shinsuke.
Yeah, I mean, like they were saying, moving forward, it's kind of like that. Obviously, now they're going to be having a series of matches by the look of it. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, you don't give your best match first, do you? But yeah, I don't know. It just seemed a bit strange that you know, it's that age-old thing of it. It's WrestleMania, and you're thinking this is where your rivalries should end, not where stories begin in some ways. But
Right.
this kind of thing, like the heel turn, is more something that you would expect it on like a SmackDown or something, you know, in storyline sense, moving in a new direction kind of thing. But they actually did it on the show.
It felt to me like a lot of build-up. The first 20 minutes of a 30-minute match, where they get all the slow stuff out of the way, and then it really kicks into another gear. And it just never did. Like, since Nakamura debuted, even in NXT, we've kind of been thinking, not really living up to what we expected. But hey, one day he'll show us. One day he'll have that match. This was the one. Eventually he'll get to AJ. Eventually he'll get to WrestleMania. Then it's going to be 5-star Shinsuke. Didn't happen.
So in effect,
And now we're saying next time. Now he's healed.
it-
Maybe it'll happen.
it's one of them things. Is it the time element that's cost it this, or because I mean, it literally was one Styles Clash and he won off it, didn't he?
Is it just that he's not that great anymore?
Phenomenal.
Well, AJ's very good. But is Nakamura just not... Does he not have it anymore?
Oh. Did he ever
I
have
think
it?
he's capable.
Oh, he definitely had it. In New Japan, he had it.
Oh, yeah, well...
You don't think?
I mean, in WWE's eyes, if it's not in WWE, it doesn't count.
Well,
Yeah.
sure.
You know? That's the thing.
Did you hear loads of the New Japan top guys flew over to
Really?
be there? Yeah. Okada was there. I think Tanahashi was there. Minoru Suzuki was there. Loads of them.
Nice. Shame
Yeah,
that it's just a shame that Styles won, but I mean, at the same time,
and it was this match.
yeah.
Were they actually at Mania?
Yeah, they were in the crowds. Yeah.
So no, the ROH show was kind of a New Japan crossover, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
All there. Yeah, a little disappointing here. We all predicted Nakamura, so none of us got a point there. Fails all round. And just fingers crossed for the next one. Maybe like the New Day and the Usos, maybe when they've got a smaller show, they can be the focus and they can do something more special.
I think it will be the time element, because if you were on, if it was like Backlash, you like to think that it's probably going to be given 25, going on 30 minutes as a main event.
Maybe. Yeah.
How long was the time on this one?
20 minutes.
Right. Yeah, like you said, it's more like you say in the big matches. That first 20s you build, isn't it? It's.
Yeah, and I don't know how many of those. You always hear that New Japan's just had the best match ever. It's January 4th again. There's 3 more matches that are just the best ever. And every time I try and watch one of them, it's 40 minutes long, and it's slow, and it's slow, and it's slow. It's so slow for so long, and then it gets great. It takes a long time to get really good, and I kind of felt like this was going that way. Sooner or later, all of this will make sense. They'll do something, and the spots will start happening, and the big counters, and all the cool stuff, and it just didn't. That 20 minutes. I have to sit through another one of those 20 minutes and hope it doesn't just end out of nowhere.
Mm.
Then, highlight of the night. Strowman. It's time to find out who Braun Strowman's partner was going to be.
Damn.
And we kind of actually called this. Like he pulled somebody out of the crowd, and the actual fan was like, "Hey."
It wasn't Cena.
It wasn't Cena, yeah.
And it wasn't No Way Jose.
No, oh god. No, it wasn't him.
They were
He
all
was.
there.
He did walk right past him though.
He did.
Yeah, but half of NXT was there.
Yeah. That would be great if they were just there for that spot, only to swerve him at the last second.
Yeah, there was loads of names you walked past. I've seen Robbie Brookside was there as well.
Robbie Brookside.
Well, I enjoyed this. I liked this. I know people didn't think it was something that should be done at WrestleMania, but I think it was fun.
It was just one of them things that it was like, I'm not quite sure how to take it. It was kind of like the entire second half of this show. It was kind of like, I'm not quite sure what's happening, but should this be happening at this show? And it was just like, so you watched it and you thought, right, so we've had a bit of a strange build thinking, like, who's his partner going to be? We've all done this usual thing where we're like, speculation and who could it be and who might return and all that palaver. We've got a 10-year-old now was the champion. And then when you got to Raw, it was like, so that's literally it.
That was a month of build.
So I don't know.
I don't know what else they could have done though. If it was someone else that's on the roster, it was Big Show or something, that would have been lame.
I mean, if you had... The only thing that I could think of, and this is pure hindsight, and it still doesn't really work, is if you did have someone that came out with him, you could have still done the same thing where they had to relinquish the following night if it was someone that got injured or you know,
Someone from SmackDown.
yeah, some form of, or even if you waited until you did the split and you split the teams up, you know, like Braun ended up on one show and his
wait another
teammate,
week.
and and then like, oh, we're gonna have to relinquish the titles. But
Or they could have. I don't know what they're going to do with the titles, but it looks like the Bar are going to the tournament finals, the Eliminator finals. So maybe they're just going to get them back anyway. In which case, you could have had him have anyone as an opponent, as a partner, have that guy cost him the belt somehow, and then they have a feud. Just set up a thing. Could be that simple. Bar retains.
But this could be the foundation for one of the greatest stories in 15 years' time.
It could be. Could be 15 years of Strowman dominance, and then who's going to break his WrestleMania streak? Nicholas Cone. So he was. This kid was over. This kid was like the biggest babyface on the roster after this.
I was just going to say, on the Raw, the reaction he got was insane.
Yeah. It's amazing. Because I thought it was going to be, when it was him, I kind of thought this is a bit lame. It's just a kid. I was kind of hoping for something cool, and it's just a kid. But the reaction made it cool. Yeah.
Well, it was an incredibly dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, especially the spot where he tagged in. So, if that was actually just a kid, what's to stop him shooting on Cesaro? You just never know.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a strange one. And again, it's one of them things where if it was at a normal pay-per-view, you probably same kind of thing. You'd have that reaction and just laugh along with it, I suppose. But it's just the fact that again, this is WrestleMania. It's like, I don't know. It just screamed that they just had no idea what to do with Braun after the situation with Lesnar changed. Or with Roman even, because apparently Strowman was in the background ready to step in, weren't he, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, if needed. Yeah.
And it just felt like, we don't want to put him in Battle Royal, so we're just going to do this. And it was just like, wow, this is just like total tangent kind of thing.
Again, I think it's a bit similar with Cena and Undertaker and maybe some others. It's a moment. It's a thing to do. The Bar weren't going to get anything more important than this. Strowman was... I guess there wasn't a spot in any big matches for him. So this is just a thing for him to do. It's fine, I suppose. I'm sure that whatever he goes on to now will be more important than this. I just think Reigns... Are they listening now? Are they going to give up on him and maybe...
No.
Maybe... no. I don't know. But this so we all got a point for that. We all thought Strowman would win. We all right. We all lost points for the main event, where I said Reigns, Beans predicted Reigns, Will predicted Reigns, Smoot predicted Braun Strowman. I still don't really get that. But Lesnar retained.
And sadly, Smoot got exactly the same amount of points as we did for our prediction.
Yeah. So it was 6 F5s, a whole load of German suplexes, loads of spears and Superman punches, and not much else. It was 4 moves over and over and over and over, and everyone was more interested in the beach balls.
I mean, you'd like to think that common sense will prevail, that when your biggest show of the year comes round, and you've got a hell of a lot of casual people that have got this pay-per-view to watch Ronda Rousey and to see what's going on, and the one show where you wanted things to be solid for casual fans, and you've crowned a 10-year-old tag team champion, and you've also got a main event of the show where you've got a crowd quite clearly chanting, "This is awful."
Yeah, loud. That was a loud one.
I mean... It just, it really spoke volumes. And then to top it all off, Lesnar wins, and it's just like, what the hell have they just done? Like, part of me was like, oh wow, yeah, because I didn't want Reigns to win it. I didn't want the match to happen. But I understand the frustration people have with Lesnar. But the thing is just like, you know, all the arguments that Reigns made in the build-up to it, saying, you know, you're a part-timer, you're not here, you're ruthless. And they tried to get fans on their side. It worked to a degree, but it's long-term, it's not foolproof. You know that people are just going to get bored of it very quickly. It works for that one thing. It didn't work for the main match because you got that reaction.
And because as much heat as you try and put on Lesnar, it's still Roman Reigns. You're not getting it. They don't understand. You can't just say someone else is Vince's boy and then have people go, oh, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense because he's got a good deal. So Lesnar's Vince's boy and Reigns, I guess, isn't anymore. No, we know what's going on. We can see, because they haven't done anything different for 4 years. Everything they try is to get Reigns over.
I mean, I don't know if we spoke about it on this show, but when they announced that Bryan was coming back and he was cleared, the one thought was that remember him doing loads of interviews not long after he retired, or even in the build-up to his last matches, saying that he wanted to face Brock Lesnar. And the one thing that went through my head when Lesnar took got the pinfall in this was, wow, are they actually considering shifting focus to Bryan now? Like, as
I hope so. That would still be cool. Apparently, the plan back then was to do. And if you remember that year, they did the Cena match at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
It was
Lesnar just destroyed him. That was supposed to be Bryan.
But now it's like, you can't just do that to Bryan now. I mean, you can make him lose, but in an effort.
Oh man, you just have him win. This is a short-term deal apparently for Lesnar. I don't know how short, but it could be very short. And if you're going to do that match, just have him win.
But that was the other thing. Like, as soon as he won, you're thinking, hang on a minute, he's supposed to be gone. It's like, what's your gain here? And I'm thinking, and then afterwards I'm thinking, are they literally just going to do this as another match tomorrow on Raw and have Reigns win on Raw? You know, you're thinking, what's going through their head at the minute? What's the mindset on this? It was so bizarre. And then obviously you had like the brutality of it where he elbowed him and split his head open. And you're thinking, I mean, God, did he bleed?
Yeah.
And you're thinking, crikey. It made me, part of me was actually thinking as well, like, you know, has he cut his head open earlier in the day? Like, and let it heal slightly, and he just had to give it a knock, because that was one hell of a cut for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it was a vicious elbow, but crikey.
It was weird. They didn't do the normal thing of like they usually go to like wide shots and don't zoom in on them when they start bleeding. No. But they were really focusing on his face.
Yeah, I mean, like when he got in his face and screamed while his face was just red, you're thinking, my God, like this is.
That reminded me of the Austin thing from years ago.
But again, it would make sense.
Intentional.
Yeah, but again, that'd make sense if it had won the bloody match, but it didn't.
Oh yeah.
I was just bizarre. And then, because you was watching it, I mean, like my mate, he's unhealthily against Roman Reigns and John Cena to the point where he gets so angry when he watches these matches. Me and my friend are kind of like just resigned to the fact that what they're going to do. So we just watched it and thought, oh, here we go, this is the Reigns win. And he was just like, we were watching it, and then he's like, you can't kick out of this many F5s. And it's like, oh, come on, he's going to do it again. And then when it happened, we were all like, whoa, what has he just done?
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, thank God for that. Just like,
finally over.
But yeah. So what was it actually 5 F5s that put him down?
6. It was a 6-1.
6 F5s. And John Cena fell to 1 tombstone.
Well, yeah.
Because that was his other argument, that he ended the streak with 3 F5s. And Reigns nearly kicked out 6 of them.
Now, there was a whole weird thing about the end of this match where no one knew what was going to happen. Apparently, the decision was made for Lesnar to win a week or so ago. Reigns apparently didn't know until the night. The referee didn't know until halfway through the match. And
why?
God knows. I guess they just didn't want it getting out. So,
but halfway through the match, you could have told him before he walked through the bloody curtain. He's not going to tell anyone. What? You're going to tell someone
on the way down the ramp? Yeah.
This isn't exactly a match that should have been kept under wraps, you know, to keep everybody in the dark on.
Yeah, it's strange. But they did the same thing during the Undertaker streak, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, that was a high profile.
A bit different.
Yeah, that's a high profile match. Like that's
still
some history.
Probably your biggest.
That's history changing shit right there. Like that's one, but this is just Roman Reigns. Like it's the big dog going to Suplex City. Like there's nothing there to kind of just withhold between any of the parties involved. You know?
Yeah, that was a thing anyway. And then there was the whole thing. Lesnar won, and we didn't see much of him after the match. There was no fireworks celebration for him. Instead, he went straight backstage very quickly. We got the little video package at the end. It's cool to see that come back. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Then we see Reigns all beat up, the blood wiped off his face, but he walked out. I guess they were trying to get that standing ovation for the loser like they do sometimes.
Well, this was it.
If you leave a guy in the ring long enough, they'll and play his music. The fans generally pick up on the fact that they're supposed to applaud. They didn't. No one.
The only time that they was going to applaud Roman Reigns walking out of that stadium after that match was if he was announcing that was his last match.
And then apparently backstage, Lesnar threw the belt down or something and got in Vince's face, and Shane stepped in, and there was a whole thing. Did you not hear this?
No.
Shit. Breaking news.
Yeah, I've heard this.
Yeah. And now, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Lesnar should be happy. So there's rumors now going around that might have just been to work the boys.
Where's Chris Jericho when you need him to start a fight?
Yeah, Jericho will fight anyone. The guy's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was going on.
That's just bizarre.
Yeah.
But it was that thing, like you said, like you watched the end and you're watching the Reigns walkout after the thing had finished and you thought, oh, hang on a minute. Thinking, oh, this is like the after credits scene in a Marvel film. It's like we're getting something big's happening after. Yeah, something big's going to happen there because this doesn't make sense. You ain't going to get cheered. And then he just walked out and I thought, what the hell was that? Well, that's the strangest, flattest ending I've ever seen.
I agree.
I think it was just to get him that applause at the end.
You didn't get it?
No, he didn't get it. I think they were trying to get him it.
God, Vince would have done better to walk out on ramp and start applauding himself.
Yeah. Well, no, I think I've had enough of people trying to endorse Reigns. Didn't work when Daniel Bryan did it. Definitely didn't work when The Rock did it. God, remember that. Jeez.
Yeah.
So no points for us there, which means the final scores. Huge show here, 14 matches, and I feel like we've been talking about it forever.
2 hours.
Yeah, joint second.
Could have watched a film in that time.
That's true.
We could have. Long film too. Joint second, me, Smoot, and Will, all on 6 out of 14. It's a bad night for us. WrestleMania is supposed to be predictable, but apparently no. Beans, you win. You only needed to beat us by 1 to win. To beat me by 1 to win the whole thing. You beat us all by 2. Meaning overall.
Even if that point from the previous pay-per-view, the Orton DQ stood, and Beans didn't get it, he still would have won by 1.
Yes! That's not true.
If we would have revoked that point, he would have had 84, and he still would have.
You've got got him as 85?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got him as 85. I've got me as 84. How have I got that? 78 last time round.
Oh, damn it.
boy.
Don't do
Yeah, I
that.
think your numbers are a little wrong. I should have an extra point there.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
All right. Hold on. Never mind. There you go, Beans.
Yeah, in fact, you got me there as 78 at the start. 1, 2,
bad.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
My bad.
You give me that one. So yeah, it would have been a draw. Anyway, out of 132 matches this year, being Smoot, 52.3%. You got 69, so you are over that 50% mark.
And
You are better than a coin toss.
I got the sex number.
You got the sex number. It's funny and no one knows why. 52.3%. Will, 77. That gives you 58.3%. I got 84, so 63.6%, and Bean 64.4%. So none of us did that great.
This kind of proves none of us know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we did all right, but it's not that much.
Beans did incredibly well for not being on the show for a majority of it.
Yeah, I think
I'd
maybe
just say that Daniel
This year.
Bryan's comeback needs to take a seat on this one.
that was a hell of a comeback. Left it right to the last minute. You know how to work.
I almost feel like shouting Aguero.
Also, Strowman's
That'd be
partner.
great.
Nobody,
Do it.
Strowman's partner.
No, you're
nobody
right.
called. Carmella's cash in. It didn't happen. And
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that we predicted was the Undertaker persona. I feel.
Yay,
So-
he was the dead man.
Yeah.
Yay.
So there you go.
That isn't the point, though, so don't get too excited. Forgot what we were going to say then. Oh well. I had something I was about to say and I have no idea what it is now. Mine's gone blank. That's what happens when you talk about a 7-hour pay-per-view.
Yeah, for 2 hours.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Should we get through Raw very quickly then?
Yes,
we
please.
got some big returns.
Yes.
Bobby Lashley.
Hard hitting.
Bad
Hard hitting.
Soft spoken.
Soft spoken.
Happy with this one? Good to see him
Yes,
back.
yes.
He still looks great.
Yes.
He does not look 41.
No, he does
No.
not.
I was never really a fan first time round, but
I was always very angry when he lost the championship match against John Cena at Great American Bash. Because I thought he deserved a run.
I mean, he could now have that run.
Yeah, because Cena's probably not going to be around.
Yeah.
True. Not around to hold him down anymore. Also, Samoa Joe interrupted Roman Reigns and completely out-promoed him.
Oh, wow.
It's just great.
Wow. Damn, like he came out and he said that Brock Lesnar exposed him. He
Yeah,
exposed him on the promo.
yeah. 2 nights running, Reigns was exposed.
And Reigns' forehead. Good lord. He had like 2 foreheads.
See, they said that on commentary. It looked like he had a tennis ball or whatever on his head. I didn't see it.
Oh, in certain lights, his head was warped.
Oh, right. I can
His
see
top
a whole lot.
top left where the cut was like way further out than the right side, and his head looked really strange in certain angles.
So it was Lashley, Samoa Joe. Someone else returned to. Oh, Jeff Hardy. He doesn't look 40 either.
He doesn't know.
And it's crazy. He's been around 20 years. More. He's been on Raw.
He passed all his age on to Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been around forever, and he's still Jeff Hardy. And then we had call-ups too. The Authors of Pain, who dumped Paul Ellering.
Dumb decision, but
I'm guessing he just doesn't want to travel.
I've seen it coming, yeah. He doesn't want to
Yeah.
travel schedule.
It's a shame. But good to see them there.
You think Ellering is going to still be with the company and like attach himself to somebody else, like another tag team?
In NXT.
In NXT, yeah.
Could do. It'd seem a shame that they weren't able to sort something, you know, like just where he showed up for pay-per-views or something, you know, as a bit of an attraction for him on big events and things. Because he's not going to be needed every week on every show, is he? It's like...
He's not like he's not like a Paul Heyman.
No.
Yeah, but when you think even Heyman's not there week in, week out, is he?
True, yeah.
That's a shame. He was one of the very few managers. You don't get managers these days.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, hopefully he'll still do something in NXT.
And Ember Moon.
Yeah, she was another one that got called up.
She was another one. And No Way Jose.
I mean, damn, that was not a...
Adam Rose with a tan.
Exactly.
Oh,
Adam Rose Part 2.
Yeah.
I had to laugh like Laura was watching, because she watched the Daniel Bryan stuff at Mania, but she didn't stay up for it. And then on Raw the following day, I was just showing her some bits from it, and then No Way Jose came out on the show. And obviously one of the last times we were there was New Orleans when Adam Rose made his debut in the same building. So she just kind of looked, and you could see the cog spinning, thinking, this looks familiar, but I don't know like where from exactly. It's like, have I seen this before? But yeah. He looked completely blown up by the time he started that match as well.
Lucky it didn't go long. Hope it works out better for him than it did for Adam Rose, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that was it. I still haven't seen SmackDown. That's bad. I know.
Really? Wow. Paige announced her in-ring retirement. Did we mention
Oh,
that?
that's true.
Yeah.
No, we didn't mention that.
And since you didn't watch SmackDown, she showed up and became the new GM for SmackDown.
Really?
Yeah.
Not sure about that.
I mean, you don't know what happened on SmackDown?
No, I know. I've been keeping it. You know, I don't want to be spoiled.
All right.
Also,
Luckily, that's in the first 10 seconds, so it's not really...
Yeah, no.
Also, the other blockbuster thing from Raw was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn needed a contract, and they were asking Kurt Angle about it, and Angle was like, well, I hear TNA's hiring, so...
Wow.
That was great.
The reaction from the crowd as soon as he said it
was phenomenal.
It was like, holy shit.
What a burn.
You've just lost your job.
It's such a lame thing to get a pop for as well. He said it. Oh my God, he said TNA. But it's true. Yeah.
He was on the verge of laughing when he said it.
So was Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn the whole way.
It's a really good line.
It is.
I guess it's okay because TNA doesn't exist anymore.
It technically does not. So yeah, Shane announced Paige as the new GM. Usos defeated the New Day to challenge the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Bludgeon Brothers, at the Greatest Royal Rumble event.
God, that's another thing to talk about.
Naomi and Natalya duked it out, and Naomi won. It was kind of like a nothing match, it felt like, but you know. Carmella also cashed in on the women's champion, by the way. Chuck, since you didn't watch that, successfully cashing in after Billie Kay and Peyton Royce laid out Charlotte Flair. So those are another couple of call-ups. Yep.
Yeah.
That was pretty great. Man, her music went on forever too when she won.
Yeah, there was a big disconnect. There was some time issue there. Something went well awry on that one. Because you had Charlotte at one point laughing in the ring, almost as if she didn't realize she was on camera, and then later on, as she was still doing a light celebration, she then all of a sudden became angry.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it was I don't know if it was supposed to be shock and then anger setting in. I don't know. But it did look a bit strange.
Randy Orton defeated Bobby Roode and Rusev to challenge the United States champion Jinder Mahal at Backlash.
Because what we really want to see is a Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal match yet again on pay-per-view.
Right. Styles.
We learn from our mistakes.
Styles and Daniel Bryan resulted in a no contest when Nakamura interfered. So
Nakamura's very fond of the low blow, isn't he?
yeah, I really loved the backstage interview with Renee.
Yeah.
Oh,
Renee,
man. Did you see this, Chucks?
No.
Oh, damn. This was so good.
Basically, Renee asked him, "Why did you do what you did at WrestleMania?" And I don't remember his first response, but basically,
no, I was trying to remember myself because he winked, didn't he?
Yeah,
he said sorry, but really sarcastically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he just did this like little wink, but as a twitch, like how he does. So it was dead funny.
And then Renee was like, "Come on, stop being so disingenuous." And he was like, "Sorry, no speak English." The fans loved it. It was great.
It was.
Awesome.
It was the best thing he's done in WWE.
Oh man! So that was SmackDown.
So not so many surprises on that one. Just the iconic duo.
Oh, we got yeah.
Well, I mean, in terms of new or returning faces.
I think we'll possibly save him some for next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Superstar.
But this thing as well with the Saudi Arabia event. I mean, that's taking place in 2 weeks now, is it?
Yeah, the end of April.
And then literally the following weekend is Backlash, isn't it?
Is that right? Yeah.
There's a bigger gap, isn't it? 2 weeks.
Is it? What date's Backlash?
Let's have a look.
So the Greatest Royal Rumble, strange name, by the way, on the April 27th and then May 6th.
Oh, it is next week.
So
yeah, so it's
the next
week. They're going to do the Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia on the Friday night. Then literally they're going to have Monday Raw and Tuesday SmackDown to build up for Backlash.
I guess most of the TV will be for Backlash, not the Rumble.
Oh, I don't know. The way they spoke about it on like I said, the SmackDown one, they crowned the challengers for the title match, and then you had the tag title.
Yeah.
Sorry, then you had.
It's kind of weird because the booking matches for both at the same time.
Yeah, Samoa Joe said that he was waiting for Roman after the Rumble.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's kind of set up as a challenger, or at least we've got Samoa Joe and Roman. Whether or not that's for the title, don't know. Because Samoa Joe's now in a 4-way ladder match for the IC title. God, this is a huge show. 10 matches on here too.
Yeah.
What length's this going to be?
It's on the network. Who knows?
It starts at 5 our time, UK time.
Yeah.
Noon Eastern, I believe.
So
yeah, noon Eastern, so 5 our time.
I think we're still going to be watching this at midnight.
Another 7 hours.
Yeah.
I'll definitely watch it.
Looks like a great show.
Absolutely, it's a stacked card.
Yeah.
Although I can't stop laughing at the hashtag.
WWE Grr.
I hadn't noticed that before.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot there.
There is a lot there. I think we'll talk about that more next week.
Yeah. We've got the shake-up this week.
Yeah, we've also got the.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot to talk about next week, too.
That's a 2-day event.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it. Is there anything else you guys want to add? This one has quite the overrun than our usual shows.
No, I think. I think we'll have a lot more to talk about next week as well, probably.
Alrighty. Thank you for joining us this week on the WrestleMania review show. We'll be back next week for the Superstar Shake-Up Fallout, where Basically, it's going to be like a draft 2.0 where people are going to be mixed around on the respective brands, which I'm surprised the brand extension's still a thing at this point. But we'll talk about all the movers and shakers and all that good stuff, as well as all the news, bits and bobs, and everything in between. Hopefully you can join us then. Take care. Thanks for everybody for listening in. Thank you, Beans, for winning the game. Start a new one.
Woohoo!
On
When do I get my
Backlash.
title?
Checks in the mail.
2-time champion, baby.
There you go. See you then. See you next week. Good night, everybody.
Bye.